Elijah Othman, let's not lose sight of the two video clips we just played. The first one talked about a communique or an agreement reached, and we thought we heard them say they will be coming back on October the 7th. So all of a sudden we get to see this visit. Does that tell anything like maybe mistrust or distrust amongst themselves? Because if they truly believed in what was read out by just one of their own, that October 7th they will be meeting with the other group to see how they can fine-tune and resolve this particular crisis in the PDP, why would they then, less than 48 hours after that meeting, which was held on a Sunday, approach the assembly?
Well, you know, I always believe in cause and effect. When they came out of that meeting and they read the communique, I think Governor of Niger read that communique.
Yes.
As the outcome of the meeting. But while he itemized what was agreed, one of the attendants of that meeting, another governor, I don't want to mention the state, went and addressed another press conference. And what he said was one-sided, his own side of the argument.
As it was coming out,
Absolutely.
Just met him and
okay,
asked him.
so
He said they all agreed.
Okay, so you see, that one started it.
Really?
What was inflammatory about that? I mean, that we're stating that as, meeting in this reconciliation meeting, this cannot be an item for us to negotiate because this is entirely the president's decision. We cannot decide for the president, and it's not an item on the negotiation list. What is inflammatory about that?
Well, he was not supposed to. All of them were supposed to maintain stress. All of them were supposed to keep quiet if they are gentlemen.
So after that communique, they should have just kept quiet, no more statement concerning that particular meeting or that
whatever issue. It is, they kept it to what if the media, if the journalists ask them for one thing, if they are tactful, they know what to say. But if you now organize yourself and come out boldly, strongly, and propagate one particular argument, then you are asking for a response. For every action, there is a reaction. As simple as that.
Okay. Even if they did that, there's something that we perhaps maybe you should bring us up to speed over time, how it's always been, even when we're having parliamentary system of government. Why are we so quick, especially from lawmakers or parliamentarians, to throw punches instead of, as you rightly put it, to reason, use our mental faculties and reason together? Why are we quick? Even men and women these days, they're quick to throw punches at each other in the assembly.
Well, the motor park mentality is still in most of us. And that's why I say we are, quite a number of us, we can talk, we can say anything we like, but when it comes to real democracy, we are really allergic to it.
Is it, yes. Lack of proper education? Because I watched live the debate of whether to go to Syria with the British Prime Minister, and it was pretty long session, and everything and all of the discussions were actually, intellectually done. So is it that we lack some of that, so that we make do with throwing punches, casting aspersion?
Well, you see, in others climes, I don't want to call them civilized society because there's nothing really civilized about them too. But by trial and error, they have perfected their act. And you have to understand where your right is and where the other person's right also starts from. When you extend your hand, you touch somebody, that means you encroach, and the same, and vice versa. So, but here we are, we don't even believe in internal democracy. Not a single party really exercises that internal democracy.
Was it always the case? Sorry to interrupt you there. Sorry, I know you're answering a question, but with your own experience as a politician back in the days, was it always the case that internal democracy was a problem for political parties?
Not always. Well, let me say that a bit of the Second Republic, that's what I know very well. Others, I have an idea. All others I observe from outside. I have been on long sabbatical, and I'm not interested in going back to work as far as that one is concerned. But there are times when you really, if you don't allow people to have their choice, then you are caught in trouble. And that's what is going on. Every now and then, people impose candidates. You can see exactly what happened, whether they call it primary or whatever it is. Now they even come with another party which is not registered, consensus. They say by consensus, whatever that means. Actually, consensus means the wishful thinking of one particular godfather. And therefore, you'd either toe the line or you're in trouble. Okay. And that's what we have.
Let's listen to the one you said started all of this, because, I mean, while he was approached, journalists asked him as he was coming out, here's what he said.
On the issue of 2015, both sides agreed that it wasn't an issue for discussion. Because every single person has a right to have ambition. Some of the governors have ambition, like I have ambition to go to the Senate. And I mean, you can't discuss anything about another person's ambition. You're the only person that can discuss your own ambition. Ambition is personal. So both parties agreed to that. Then all other issues, we have put in place the methodology of settling them. And then, of course, it's a process issue. The process is on. And the process of settling, it was in the first place an internal issue of PDP. And so we are going to settle it internally. And if you want to know how it's going to be settled, then you have to leave being a journalist and join the PDP family.
What's wrong with that, Elijah? You said it's an internal problem.
Well, if it's internal problem, I think they should all leave us alone. Because they are dragging the whole nation because of their own internal problem.
So
and for the last,
you think they're doing that?
Since 1999, actually, any time they have this commotion, they have this earthquake, any outsider, when you raise your voice, you are concerned, they say, mind your own business. It's our own internal problem. We have our own internal mechanism, built-in mechanism that will solve our problem. Well, let's hope so. But from 1999 to date, all the argument has nothing ideological. It's a matter of sharing. Once they settle down to share, you are not going to hear any noise again.
No, how do people say that it's always been the case? I mean, what was sown as small seeds right now is what we're seeing germinating and coming to full bloom in the 1999 to this era. I mean, people will say that Nigerian political parties have never really been ideological. Do you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. We had an ideology. I think the last ideological parties were 1983. Nobody who studies politics can say that PRP and UPN were not ideological. They were. The other right-wing parties, of course, can be either right of center or center of center, but there are ideologies.
Was that also because of the period? I mean, because we cannot also escape from the fact that that was also the time that the Cold War was going on, and, you know, when ideology, as it were, socialism and capitalism were, you know, all over the world, and everybody, or most countries had to pick where they belonged. Even though Nigeria was a neutral country, as it were, it would seem that the political parties tended towards either socialism on one hand or capitalism on one hand. And, you know, did that have any role to play in terms of, you know, ideologies of political parties?
Well, I think it has something to do with the founders of those political leanings, the leaders of the time. They have belief in something. Today's people don't believe in anything. It's materialism, and once you have materialism as the center point of your argument, then that's no problem. You have a price. Once the price is right, then you toe the line. But ideology is ideology. I don't think it has anything to do with Cold War, because up to this day, those leaders in the rest of the world who are ideological are ideological. They have not changed.
Should we even take them all seriously? Because, after all, from what they've said, they're all fighting for their ambition, all of them.
Of course. That's
not anything that has to do with development of the country. So
that's why I say when it's materialistic, then, of course, there's nothing permanent about it. It is when the sharing formula is adjusted, then they will all move to the center. There's no problem. But ideology doesn't mean Marxism and Leninism and things like that. When you say you want to, one of the cardinal points, for example, UPN use cardinal points, PRP use redemption, and even MPP use, I can't remember, but they have ideology. That's what it is. So you can believe it, they go towards that particular direction to complete whatever it is. And so you can associate, when you join this orientation, you know what you are for.
In the meantime, I mean, it's not all about politics. There are so many other things in this going on in the country that needs the attention of governance. Look at the spate of kidnapping, Nasarawa violence, and one would have thought that all of this should take center stage. But yes, we'll have politics.
Well, you know, we are seeing a new Nigeria. Some of us who have seen it before, what we are seeing now, I think, beats everybody's imagination. Well, how do you explain this kidnapping, which has now become a big business? Psychophancy is another big business, is a big enterprise. And everybody is just praise singing. This praise singing is also, you buy a newspaper, you see all these pages, advertorial about very immaterial things. People taking public money to congratulate each other for something. But I know we have some of these contradictions. There was a case when a traditional ruler who died 6 months was announced as the chancellor of a university. 6 months after he was dead.
Wow.
Okay, we have between 1999 to date, there was one of the states appointed a man as commissioner for women affairs. You know, you have this kind of thing. But having said that, how do you explain somebody who was claimed to have taken away, I don't want to use the word stealing until court proves it, taken away about 32 billion of pension money? That pension does not belong to you or me, it belongs to the police themselves. It is now the Senate that is even begging the Inspector General of Police to arrest that accused.